Good afternoon to another edition of Talking Parish League. I'm your host, Leroy John Baptist, and it's indeed a pleasure to be back with you. We've been, if you want to say, on a little hiatus, a little vacation, taking care of this and that and the cricket, all melded into one. But it is such a pleasure to be back here. Taddy and myself, we're going to have a grand show. Our guest is not with us yet, but Taddy and I have so much to talk about. I done put in Taddy leg about the West Indies victory yesterday or day before yesterday. So we're going to talk a little about that, and of course Parish League cricket. We have quite a lot of cricket going on so far. The women's Leeward Islands cricket, all there. So quite a lot to go about. So we'll get into that. But let's first of all recognize our platinum sponsor, ACB Caribbean, Simply Smarter Banking. And so for all of your banking, all of your financial needs, you have no choice but to visit them at ACB Caribbean, and I can guarantee you they will take very good care of you. For 44 years and counting with the Parish League team, and so we are eternally grateful to that partnership there, and so we have no hesitation to recommend them to you. Cool and Smooth, for all of your sporting, household, electronics, your one-stop shop. Check them out there east of the market complex there. And Mayor and his team, just let them know you heard this on the Talking Parish League show, and they will have an extra special gift for you. Brands for Less, Carol and her team, just opposite the old Deluxe Cinema, just west of the Zachariah building. Carol and her team, everything you need, whether it's children clothing, male, female, footwear, appliance, you name it, Carol has it. And so you got to check them at Brands for Less there on the top of High Street and get all of your goodies there. Digicel, the bigger, better network for all of your internet connectivity, your data requirements. You just walk into those Digicel stores all over Antigua, and they will take excellent care of you there. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and as I said, we're going to put on a dynamic show for you. Taddy and I opening the batting. I'm going to see if I can score a little more runs than Taddy this time around, but we don't know how we go. Taddy, good afternoon, man. Good to be back in the house.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, the viewing audience. Man, John, it's good to be back, man. I've been missing for a while, couple weeks ago. Funeral last week, a little bit of a red eye, and that's all the thing, man. But it's great to be back. And I was telling you earlier, this should be our last show for a while. Thursday League starts next week, so we have to cover cricket live on Thursdays, which should be about at least 6 weeks, 6-7 weeks. So we're out for a while when it comes to the live Thursday afternoon show, John. So, hey, I guess our fans will miss us, but they'll see some Parish League cricket anyway.
Most definitely.
And here you guys at the cricket field, and you will see 3 first-class teams and 3 Parish League teams. And Thursdays, but John, it's strange enough, John. This show started because there was no Thursday League.
So true. I remember when you called me, that as you said, hey, there's no Thursday League. Let us plug that gap. Let us go out and just give these guys some memory. Could take them down memory lane.
And that was 2020, John.
Yes.
Can you imagine? 2020, 21, or 22. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Hey, I think we'll fill the gap pretty well.
Yeah, but Taddy, before you go off of that, I just, you mentioned about, they'll be able to see the cricket, the Thursday League cricket, and I really want to give our technicians some credit. I was watching the Leeward Islands game there on Facebook.
In Trinidad?
Yeah, I think there.
It's YouTube or Facebook?
YouTube, so one of them, YouTube or Facebook, I'm not certain. And I'm telling you, I'm not being biased. Our coverage is superlative to what they give it. And a lot of people don't see the guys behind the scene. They don't see the cameraman, they don't see the technician. They hear our voices on the radio, and we are who they can affiliate with. But we want to let them know, hey, we have some real hard-working guys. Or then Mark, Carol sometimes come out and give a little hand. And so we have to big up these guys for the work that they're doing behind the scenes.
All right, John, I kind of glad to go there and still disappointed. I tell you why. Because man, you know me, John. You don't settle for nothing but the best. And I've been banging them for weeks and months and so on. And I can tell you, that Cool and Smooth stuff we did there, we got some great reviews, and I get great credit for that, John. There are people calling from Australia, watch me up from Australia, England, all over. if people went to Dubai and so, I said, people watch Parish League cricket in Dubai, yeah, well, local cricket, you love it, John. So, and I tell them, man, and everybody was pleased, man. They say the video, everything that went out, real clear, real good. And that's when we did a basketball game, John. And some friends in New York tell me they're watching it, you know, his new smartphone, and they can get it on YouTube and the TV. And the man say, come to real clear. So the guys doing a pretty good job, you know what I mean? And you know what, you know, when I don't normally go to the venue, but I still call and say that look good and that something, and work with the party. So I make sure keep them grounded and get things done properly. So,
Yes.
So I'm not surprised that you see that, John. But what I was just telling Harding too, when they came by tomorrow, we're supposed to put it in the replay system in place.
Taddy, you keep taking it to the next level. When you think we've reached there, you just take it to the next level, Taddy.
When the guys coming tomorrow to put in the replay system. So when they go to the cricket field and John tell and the line of people, then they can see John tell a lie. Hey, John may say something that when we play it, and John may not get it right. You know, but I don't mean John in particular. They are what we play and the commentators, and you can see what happens. You know, just like the big cricket.
Right.
I was trying to get even Alter Edge and all kinds of, but the guy said, yes, John, John, you don't know me, no, John. I don't sell nothing but the best now. But my chief technician told me that we can't go there yet. That might be kind of extra expensive, you know. So I'm still looking at it, John. You know, I mean, I want to be like real professional stuff.
Right.
You know, so hey, like I said, John, give the guys credit. You know, what I mean, they've done a wonderful job, John. They're wonderful. As a matter of fact, you know, I mentioned one of the sponsors there. He wasn't so friendly, and he called me and thanked me for the good job we did. The coolest smooth fellow. And he called me and thanked me and said, the guys did a wonderful job. You know what I mean, John? So look, if you're the people who are doing things so they're pleased, hey, what's wrong with that?
Right.
I don't tell you, I don't know if you know, a couple of Sundays ago we did horse racing too.
I saw the stuff come up now, but I didn't look at it in its entirety. Oh, that's well, Taddy. We're gonna have to do the name change soon. It's gonna Community Sports Network gonna have to start to brandish itself because.
I tell you what, John, we did horse racing. I was telling Arden, we did horse racing, but it wasn't to the best that I wanted it to be. But had nothing to do with us. Our coverage was great.
Right.
But what happens? It was a last-minute thing, so I don't think Neil had time to put things in place. What happens between races? There was nothing to fill in the gaps.
Oh, okay.
So you should be having jockeys, some people talking about the races, some previous guys.
Right. Yeah, we could arrange some interviews with some legends in the horse racing, some youngsters.
That way, John.
So fill the gap. Right.
You know what I mean? And you know, I mean, the pre-race and the after race, you know, the comments and you know what I mean. Because the guy didn't know, so it was pretty good. I must tell you that. You know what I mean? So it was good. We did a very good job tracking with the race track. I didn't know that we could do it so well. That's why I just grasped the opportunity. So I wanted to see if we can do that race and say, what happened, John? We're doing a show on Saturday morning. And then Earl was telling me about Devon Horse and tomorrow. I said, yeah, Neil, no one call Neil. I want to go and do it to see if we can carry out.
Right.
So we did it, man. We did it pretty well. But like I said, the actual product could have been better. Yeah, so I'm glad to go there. The guys are doing a very good job, you know. And like I said, we got assistance for almost everybody. Carol, Derek Moreland, who came by, young girl lady there who's a scorer, Shani, she came. We got some real good assistance, people who contributed to see Parish League network perform well. We call it performance, John. At least, like you say, you're watching the West Indies cricket. And hey, you can say that better than us. What is it, John? Okay, what I observed, you know, John, most of the time you want to see one camera. But we use 2 and 3 and so cameras, and we're going, maybe next time we're going to stick, we might be using 4. We have them, John, so we want to make it easier. When we're getting a wireless mic sometimes soon too, John, so when they go to task and again, feedback. Just like you see Mike holding the pitch report and that, there's where I want to go, John.
Well, Taddy, I must say, you know, I think, you know, we, in honesty, in reality, you know, when we go back I remember, I think it was last week or before the last, I think Mark had put on a filler show because we didn't have the show. And I saw the background, remember when we used to put up the backdrop with the ACB logo. And then my mind just ran back to, you know, Taddy said, hey, we're going up to the animal park. And I said, animal park? How are we going to get up there? And the first time, Taddy, you don't even know that. When we went by Dave, no, I think it was the second week, the gate was closed. And we were wondering if anybody up there. And then when I pulled the gate fall down on me. And then when I see we looking at up there, and I said, boy, look how far we've come, you know. We were in Mahaiko, I remember when we went by Fat Man, and, you know, and we went out to Erlings, and, you know.
Johnson Point.
Johnson Point, yes.
With the Erlings and Johnson Point. With the two of them.
Yeah, but Taddy, you know, I mean.
Play school.
Yes.
Hello, John. Even Husey House.
Husey House, yes. So I went to by Zander.
Zander, yeah.
And by...
Well, if I done one of the first shows.
Yes.
That's early in the plan.
Yes.
We'll get Zander and his Mark's
dad, yeah. And you know, it has really grown in leaps and bounds, and it's just good to see the camaraderie that it has shown, because even those guys, you know, overseas, you know, they're so elated, so happy to be a part of it, seeing persons they may not have seen in such a long time. And it goes back to that Parish League, what you could call it, motto, that togetherness, that family. And, you know, Taddy, I think, you know, yourself as the brainchild, I remember you called me the afternoon or the morning and you said, John, I'm thinking of putting on a show because we have no cricket Thursday time, so we have to put something to fill the gap. And Taddy, you know, all credit must go to you for that thought process, just thinking of that there. You know, you really have to be commended for that, Taddy, because now, as you said, we are looking to take it to a level, you know, as you said, incomparable to Sportsmax. You know, person sometimes may have, maybe even me when you said it first, I say, wait, Taddy crazy, Taddy serious, you know. But, you know, credit must go to you, Taddy, and I'm just taking this opportunity to once again commend you for the foresight and real thoughtfulness of this whole program.
Hey, John, thanks for that, John. But I was said to you, as you mentioned a while, it is this long time stuff. I was at Langway yesterday, and I went to one of my buddies, he's playing with me, the Rising Sun too. And he said, I told him one of our buddies coming in Saturday. And he said, boy, I haven't seen him since we left Antigua, you know. That's about, you're talking about 50 years now, John. So, another way, someone said, you want to see him. You know, he hasn't seen him since for nearly 50 years since he went to Canada. But he never seen him since. He's coming in on Saturday. So, I want to plan like a reunion for him, you know. I want to plan like a reunion so they can get to see each other, John. And this is what happens, John. So, hey, Parish League and cricket in the whole. Your rivals on the field, John, but out of the field, you're good friends. The friendship will last forever. You know what I mean, John? When the same old guest has arrived, like, you play for right, so you get dropped. You don't need to get dropped, you play the right, son.
I get dropped for what? Being late?
For being late.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's just take this opportunity to welcome our guest, Mr. Walter George. Walter, good afternoon and welcome to Talking Parish League.
Good afternoon to your listening audience. Good afternoon, Mr. Arundel, and good afternoon, Mr.
John.
Mr. John Baptist.
Yes. Well, Walter, Taddy, tell me that your name go way back. And, you know, that way back is just synergizing with our show, because our show is a way back show. We talk about from maybe, if you can remember when you were in Pampers or pull-ups. Well, come on, man. Then I have Pampers and pull-up in the time, the man.
Oh, yeah, it depends. Close enough.
You know, we like to take you back, tell us a little bit about that community you grew up in. You know, what was life like for you, the family, the community, and then, you know, I heard you played a little football, a little cricket along the way. Taddy, just speak about your experience in Rising Sun, and so you would, you know, share that with us. And it's a free program. We go anywhere you want us to go, and we just discuss it in open manner.
Yeah, good afternoon once again. You know, I grew up in Villa, playing sports in Villa from ever since I can remember myself. It seems as if half my life is being spent on some kind of athletic field, whether it's cricket or football, especially football these days. And you know, back in the days when I played, you know, Villa had a formidable team both in cricket and football. And, we dominated basketball because we were the mecca of basketball at that time in Antigua and Barbuda.
What do you mean Mecca basketball?
All the basketball was played at Villa School, and we really dominate that. No question about it.
What do you mean Mecca Academy and started and stuff?
Academy was more or less like an elite set of guys. Basketball really got steam when it came into the ghetto, which is Villa. A lot of grassroots guys got involved, start playing, and then it blossomed from that perspective. As far as cricket, as you know, Villa played Parish League for a number of years. We were one of the dominant teams in Parish League. And then first class, they were expanding, and Villa got invited after Bethesda, Liberta, Bolans, Cedar Grove. Then I think Villa came in. Even though it was first class and study, you had Farm, Cedar Farm was already playing first class, even though they sound like a Parish League team, as well as All Saints, even though they too sound like a Parish League team. But they were playing
First class.
Tell you drop a lot of word, yeah.
one of the dominant teams, in my estimation, that didn't get in was Sweets. Because Sweets has some good players.
Okay.
But for some reason they didn't get in. Pickett's was good too, they didn't get in at the time.
If I can,
was good also, they didn't
if you
get
can
in at
ask
the
for
time.
some of the good players you found in Sweets at that time.
Well, I really can't. I really cannot recollect names.
Okay, no problem.
But I know they had a good team
No problem.
because we played against them, and as a matter of fact, they beat us at Rising Sun Ground for some kind of playoff game we had.
Okay, okay.
I think that was 1976, if my memory serves me right.
But I want to take you back to something quickly, this basketball thing and Mecca basketball. Villa's very good players, but Villa was famous for fighting down there all the time. When Grayson team meet Villa team, some fighting can work out. Tell the guys, tell the man about that.
I mean, when you have a competitive situation, especially when you have a team that has been dominant for all these years, like let's say a team like Niggers, that's the name of a team that was in Villa.
Niggers.
Niggers.
Oh, Niggers, okay.
That was a dominant team. You had Villa had a team there too that was pretty dominant. But when I speak of basketball in the context of Villa, most of the teams were from Villain Point.
Okay.
Yeah, so you had Braves from Grace from Green Bay, and you had Ovals. Ovals played in the lower division during those time, but Brave was playing in the top division, and they were pretty decent. But they didn't win no championship at that time.
Okay.
It was Barry Ball Wizards, Niggers, Villa that were winning, and most of the players were from Villa and Point. Daddy knows that.
Very good players though, very good players. Even the Man Jones though.
Yeah, Fernando was.
There are quite a few dominant players. Yeah,
The
Andy Christian,
Carbon guy and so.
Andy Christian from Mancho, who died recently. Pinnacle was pretty sharp too. Granny was all right. There were that Koto who died.
Yeah.
Quite a few guys that you probably never even heard about.
Right.
So that was basketball, but the emphasis for me was more cricket and football, more or less.
Okay.
So I don't know which way we want to go now.
Well, I want to take a little cricket first of all, because like I said, this lateness. What happens when I became captain in 1975, Rising Sun? We're going to do like Mark buy you out from Villa. Mark,
you bought him out?
Yeah, we buy you out, man. You know what I mean? So I got him to Rising Sun. He used his allowance, but I had no plan. Anybody late, anything is 12:30 you late, you get dropped.
Listen to me. I must agree with Taddy on this one, and I really do apologize for being late. Cause trust me, I'm never late in my life. This must be the first time I ever late for anything. And the reason why I'm late, I had a real horrible banking situation right now in Antigua. That's why I'm late, Taddy.
I know that. You told me so. You told me so. This is bad,
I was trying to get some money out of the bank. My account is, they said dormant, inactive, so I can't get the money. And they give me all kind of story. I spoke to a gentleman a while ago, and he gave me a little bit of assurance that just bring him a few pieces of documents and he will resolve it. So I have to call back home. Home is overseas, and get a piece
Get
of
some documents.
information to pass on to him.
No problem.
I know.
So that's the only reason why I was late. Trust me, because I'm not late for nothing.
Hey, Chuck, boy, everybody from New York come have the same experience like you. Everything gets started in the bank. Everything gets started in the bank.
Well, after speaking to the gentleman who seems to have some impetus in the bank, I understand his rationalization, but the subordinate staff is not in tune with good customer service. It seems as if they're not in tune with with how to relay the banking information. Because I myself, I'm in banking. I'm a mortgage loan officer in America. I have a banking license with New York State, so I have an idea about banking. But after he explained to me how it goes down here, I just realized, you know what, he's probably right. But the lady that I dealt with today, she was, oh my God. Anyway, let's just stay to the sports.
So I was telling you about that. By your thing, Ulysses Lawrence came by. So first match, my best batsman later, we're dropping guy instead Green Sweet. Anyway, or the match we played, and the match with Police going on against St. John's. So the president came up and he didn't see none of the old Rising Sun guys. So when he came, he said that couldn't be Rising Sun in the field. So after that he resigned, he didn't come back.
He didn't come back, okay.
So start the match with the team. But tell you what, this guy was a very good all-rounder. Very good bowler. Maybe you can say good bowler better than Lawrence. But pretty good batsman, brilliant fielder like Ulysses.
But do you realize that T20 is tailor-made for me today, and I never played T20?
Well, I understand what you said. He Ulysses was a good 220 guys still, but they were good 40 players too.
Okay.
But having said that, I must take this opportunity to publicly acknowledge Taddy. Taddy is one of the men who revolutionized sports in Antigua, in the sense that Taddy brought a no-nonsense approach to coaching, which a lot of guys gravitated to and they benefited from it. Some people don't like his style, but his style is the right style. Because in order to be an effective coach, you have to be a dictator. If you're not a dictator, you can just forget it, because you're not going to be successful. I mean, he's nicknamed the Ayatollah. I guess he's nicknamed the Ayatollah for a reason. But trust me.
Taddy, young, old, everybody knows you're the Ayatollah.
Trust me. Taddy brought a kind of discipline to the game that's unbelievable. And I want to say this also, no, not because he's here. Taddy is one of the greatest cricket brain the world has ever seen. But for some reason, Taddy never got the acknowledgement. I hear people call, one time I listened to West Indies cricket and they were marveling, oh, you have Ambrose, you have Benjamin. Where do Antigua produce all these fast bowlers? And people fumbling, oh, maybe they come through Andy Roberts, and all kind of people getting the praise, and nobody mentioned the real man. This man is a true cricket brain.
I'll give you one joke about him, no, John. One day he was here from, visiting from, North America. So he came factory with me, they're watching the practice, so guys would just exercise. So they just sprinting, the guys are crying, you know what I mean? So they pulled me aside and say, hey, what are they crying for? When you train in college football and so, they want to tell the coach, believe me, you're tired, you want to vomit.
Yeah. I mean, when I played collegiate ball, because I went to North America on a soccer scholarship. Some people felt I didn't deserve a scholarship from an athletic perspective, quote unquote, but it's a two-pronged approach: the athletics
and the education
and the intellectuality.
Yeah.
So it has to be a balance. Some guys are very good players, but they're not so strong in the book.
The academics are weak.
I just happen to be fortunate enough where I kind of blend in.
You had a good balance of academics and skill set.
Because you find in America, even if you're a very, very, very good student and you have a 4.0 grade average, and a guy like me who's an athlete who comes with a 3.5 grade average, and both of us go for a job, they will hire me before you, even though you have more intellectual capacity, because they don't look only at the grades.
You're more rounded.
More rounded, discipline, application, commitment, all those stuff you learn from athletics. And I saw Taddy over at Cedar Valley, training Kenneth Benjamin, training him. And what really marvels me is that, like Taddy said, when I played collegiate ball, the coach I had, the only time you never really talk back to the coach, because you want to keep that breath to save it, because you know what's coming. Because when you finish training, you lose 15, 20 pounds. When you finish training, that's how tough the training is. Of course, you go back to the cafeteria and you fuel back up and you may gain back some of the pounds. But it's an ongoing cycle of hard work. So you have to be committed to the hard work, you have to be committed to the studies in order to make it.
Well, Taddy spoke. Well, okay, let me get back to because there's something that we find lacking in our sporting disciplines today, is that discipline, that commitment, and we see it from our players, because a lot of players sit here, past players, and they will tell you, man, I used to run from whether it be Five Islands to St. John's, Old Road to Bowlands, wherever. And in today's world now, you're finding you have to be calling the players to tell them, hey, we're going to do some training. And that is something that is severely lacking in our setup today, in that the sporting personalities now, I don't know if they're so distracted. There's so many other distractions there, because one of the things we hear from you guys is, hey, in our days there was only two things to do, cricket or football.
Well, nothing is wrong with the discipline. The discipline is fine, because everyone has the discipline in them. And I'm not even trying to be philosophical here, because I almost don't know if I'm getting philosophical. But when I went to college, for example, some of the things that was brought out of me as an athlete, I didn't know I have it in me. Meaning I didn't realize my body could have done some of those things. Because trust me, I had a tough coach. I said that to say this. Antigua problem to me is not the players, are the coaches. We need to coach the coaches how to coach the players. The coaches themselves are not disciplined. The coaches themselves don't apply themselves properly. Until you have good coaches who understand what it is to be successful, the players can't be successful, because the players don't have the motivation to push themselves. You see what I'm saying? Because even though it's ingrained in them and they want to do good, they don't know how far can I go. They need that help, they need that support. Give a case in point. I was in Queens at St. John's College watching the Barracudas play a semi-pro game up in New York. A bunch of us went here, they're playing, so we came out to see the game. And they lost, I think, 2-0 or 3-0, something like that, the Barracudas. But what astonished me and others in the soccer circle that I was in, because I used to coach and manage a soccer team in New York.
Okay.
Was that the indiscipline of the players on the field. Here they're playing professionally for money, and they're so tired, they're walking on the field. Walking on the field. That was like you hear people talk about culture shock. That was like a soccer shock to me. How could you be walking on the field? And that's because the coach never prepared them properly. It's better to be prepared than to be lucky. Luck can always run out, but when you're well prepared, you will last the course. And you know who the coach was? What the white guy from England name that they rave about him so much?
I don't know football.
That white guy there that walked from England. He was the coach, and he should have known better. He should have known, in order for my players to be successful, they must be in excellent condition. They were in poor condition.
So I didn't know you've been at St. John's University.
No, I was just watching a game.
Okay.
They played at the university.
I used to go there quite often.
Okay.
They were just there to go to school and work.
Yeah.
So St. John's, there's a big compound they got there, man. Big place. So I'm saying to you, before I had the truck, you know what I mean? The sort of things he used to tell me, John, you know what I mean? We used to work together, John, he used to tease me about the Villa team and so on, and Villa himself, some great defenders, powerful defenders, can't score in Villa, you know. But Villa want to change up the lineup now. They're more, he started laugh. Villa's trying to get more aggressive now, so they push up on the defender. You know what I mean? So the goalkeeper started getting some shots coming to him. Goalkeeper started complaining. The goalkeeper was one of the best in the world. So he came again with a joke.
He was pretty sharp.
So
Andy Christian.
So tell us about the plan, you know.
Well, the guys them back in the days who played for Villa. You have to understand, Villa Point community, most of the sons for the fathers and the grandfathers from Villa Point community, their parents were stevedores.
Oh, what? Sorry?
Stevedores.
Stevedores, okay.
Longshoremen.
Yeah.
And they were basically strong men because they did so much lifting.
Right.
It's not like now that you have the boat coming into the harbor and so on and so forth. These men used to go out on a barge, go into the ship, lift off the sugar, the flour. They did a lot of heavy lifting. So the physique was they were well chiseled. So you find a lot of the guys in our team, they inherited that physiology. So they're powerful and strong. My brother used to play fullback, you know. My brother is pretty strapped, and now the guy named Lawrence, even his awkward partner locally. he just dropped me off. I hope you're not listening. 2-point little difference. So we had a strong team. And not only we played physical, we will also fight you too. And that's just the nature of the beast.
Now we're aggressive.
Very aggressive. You know, and but you know what's funny? Evolution, well, I almost said a wrong word. Evolution is something else. I came up here about 10 years ago, and I was speaking to this young lady. As a matter of fact, let me not call her name. And I said to her, I'm going to go see Villa play this afternoon. She said, you're going to see Villa play? The society in there? When I come play the match, they come up and run up with them jacket and tie and show off themselves. The society there. I said, what society we talking about? She said, Villa team, a society maybe. And I was so shocked to hear her refer to Villa team as some kind of society team. When I know we were ragamuffin and totally, I wouldn't say out of control, but we were really ragamuffin and rough. You know, but the evolution too of football in Antigua, especially from a scholarship perspective. You see a lot of these guys walking around now with collegiate education from sports. It started in Villa. And the genesis of it, where he really mushroom, was from a guy named Dave Gillian, Pinnacle. Not so much that Pinnacle was the first, but Pinnacle was the first grassroots man that people could relate to, where they would say, well, if Pinnacle got a scholarship and he gone overseas to play football through education, it was an incentive where they would say, well, I can do it too. So he gave a lot of the young men in the community hope. So that's how the scholarships started. And what makes it worse, when I came after Pinnacle, me and Pinnacle used to be buddies. So people used to say, well, Farrell and Pinnacle, wow, Farrell gone too? If Farrell gone, play football, school and so on and so forth, I can do too. So all these guys you see now, Sobi, the Bato, the Naya, all of them, they came through that program, which was very, very good at the time. I don't know how it is now. I hear Sobi's running it, so let's hope they keep up.
Yeah, I think Sobi is the technical director.
Well, I'm not talking about for national football. I'm talking about for Villa Club itself, Villa Academy, and the other piece that
John, I'm glad you mentioned about this ragamuffin and powerful guys in Villa. Okay, give me another joke to you now. Whenever Villa meet Empire, fighting out breakout. So
that was happened because Villa couldn't bang Empire.
Well, it's not so much Villa couldn't beat Empire. I mean, Empire had a vociferous crowd, and you know we had to match that. You know, I'm not taking away nothing from Empire, no, but Empire football was predicated on playing physical also. Empire, good player was scarce in terms of skills. Other players, to me,
brute force.
I wouldn't say brute force. I don't think Vern was brute force per se. But the others, Case was the one who really stood out. The rest of them were just, to me, just average per se. But they had a big following, they had a big crowd, they had a lot of supporters, so they pushed them and so on and so forth. And you don't want to get into a fight with them because they're going to
wait. They prepare for whole, they forget for the fighting, man.
Well, that is a kind of a colloquial local joke that I don't think is so much relevant to this program here, you know.
No, but you said earlier, you know, your guys were some big strapping guys.
Yeah, but so what Taddy is referring to was a situation where one of our supporters, not a player, was saying, if a fight break out with Empire, here's what he's going to do. And when the fight did break out,
this is what he did.
He disappeared.
So John, that is planned for almost a year. When things happen now,
lifting weight or so.
He was preparing for the battle. When the battle arrived, he just nowhere to be seen.
And John, he was having a lot of talks about body, you know what I mean? He's feeling hard to do the things.
Well, so let's just go back into the community a bit before we go into the cricket. I know Taddy had talked about buying you, but let's just go back into the community. Growing up in the Villa community, what was it like as a young chap that you could remember in terms of just the activity around that community? What was it like living in those days?
Well, as far as sport is concerned, you find back in the days, to me, especially football, we didn't really have any structure. A bunch of guys got together, we throw the ball out and we just go and we play. Whoever is captain called the shots. The conditioning wasn't present. Everybody did what they feel like. There was no formal coaching. So it was difficult for some people when they go overseas to be receptive to coaching because they were never accustomed to be coached. But as far as the cricket, you know, we had some decent players. We had some decent players along the way. We had Jingool, who is one. Jingool, who's Antigua, well, he may differ with me, but Jingool was Antigua's best cricket captain. And you may say, what about Viv Richards? But I don't think Viv Richards ever captained Antigua team. Am I correct, Daddy?
I don't think in Leave Lions tournament,
Yeah,
for sure.
so Jingool probably was, based on success, Jingool was probably the best captain Antigua had, and that's a product of the community. And we had one or two other players,
But John, the joke he getting about, right? So you mentioned Jingo, the joke he getting our buddy, the great Elmer, said he never get picked because his name didn't start with G. If he didn't start with G, you can't pick him for the team. So it's a George and Gilliard and Gould.
He said the G's dominated the village. So I'm a George, my brother's a George. We had the guy Pinnacle who's a Gilliard. His brother is also a Gilliard. And we had Gene Gould. And he said, well, that's the G's. And then he say, James. The guy James too. Not realizing James. So that was a big laughter. Sometimes you need that to ease the tension.
That's true.
Everybody was like that, you know what I mean?
Right.
He was our buddy, man. That's our buddy, you know what I mean? So I used to tease Elmer, so hey, change your name, man, you know? Get into the G, you know?
Yes. Now, let's get into the cricket now. You would have played for the Villa community before. What was that setup like? What was it in those days playing for Villa?
Well, like I said, from my recollection, we were in Parish League for a number of years. We were pretty dominant. And because we had the field too, I think the field had a lot to do with us going into first class cricket. Because the venue is important. Because Antigua doesn't have too many good fields per se, especially the pitches. You find Rising Sun, St. John's Ground, Recreation Ground, maybe Police Ground to some extent, Empire Ground. Most of the grounds in terms of pitch preparation was kind of poor. A lot of dirt wicket where fast bowlers did pretty well on some of those pitches. And when you bring them up on, let's say, on St. John's Ground, where they have the car park now, especially fast bowlers, they had a tough time getting any lift. Because it's not like playing on dirt pitches. Because those pitches were well prepared, you know. But and then we transitioned into first class. It was kind of testing time for us because we didn't have that vast amount of experience and so many let me say caliber of players.
So the competition level at that time between the first class and the Parish League, there was a marked difference.
Yes, there was, because Parish League started, I think, with a guy named Ephraim John, who was a radio broadcaster, and I think he realized there needed to be more space for other players to play, because apart from the first class teams, which were about 6, a lot of other guys weren't playing no competitive organized ball per se. So he created a Parish League wherein it's a parish. St. Mary's will play against St. Paul will play against St. George's, and so on and so forth. And then when the season almost finished, they will select the best of the players and group them into a Parish League and say, well, this is the Parish League team. One year, the Parish League team played against Antigua. Right? That's where Taddy probably picked up Ulysses from.
Yeah.
Because me and Ulysses were playing for the Parish League at the time. Taddy might have seen me otherwise before that. Because I was playing around the city. But Ulysses was from Newfield.
That was 1974.
Yeah, so a lot of the country guys didn't get that full exposure.
Right.
But then again, too, they were playing on a lot of inferior pitches. So you find if the bowlers were good from the country, when you bring them into town, the chances are they were not good. If the batsmen were good in the country, if they come to town, they'll be good in town too.
Right.
Because you make runs on bad pitch, you would definitely make runs on good pitches. You know, so that was kind of what was going on there. And so you find then, Parish League will play against one year we played against a team from Bermuda.
Yeah.
Played a team from Bermuda. And you know what's funny? We played against a team from Bermuda. And Bermuda had us on the run. And I'm batting at number 5. And I'm there, glad for the opportunity, get a chance to showcase yourself at the recreation ground. And there's a guy named James from Pickett's. Remember James? James is supposed to come in at number 6. Ball hit me on the pad down the leg side. We didn't have formal umpires at the time. Okay. Anybody can come and say, oh, let me umpire. Umpire gave me out, LBW. So when the innings closed, I said to him, boss, what that? What kind of decision that? He said, man, you're a farm fool and a wicked man. Me no come for see you bat, James me come for see bat, that make you out. So you had that, you have that I won't say roughness, but you have that situation where you say, oh my God, you missed the opportunity because this guy, he wanted to see his guy. He don't care about you.
Right.
His guy.
Well, we have heard many stories where guys would say, hey, they would do anything to make sure that ball don't hit their pad because they know that was a recipe.
Well, in Parish League, listen, we played a match against Ruin Trucks. I don't even want to talk about myself per se. And we had an opening stand of 100 and something without loss. And we ended up making about 120. After the two opening batsmen, one of them got out. I was batter number 3. It's one ball I get, you know. I tell you what, the first opening batsman got out. He get LBW past the leg stump. And he came out and he was cursing and he's carrying on and he upset. And I'm telling him, man, you need to show some little professionalism. Why are you acting like that? Come on, be a good sport. When I went to the bat at number 3, replace him. My ball hit me further down the leg side. I'm out to, you know. Look, I put on a piece of cursing out of the blue. And the umpire, professionalism. The umpire just keep putting up his hand. So the umpire was really atrocious. Really atrocious. So sometimes you find man say they get 5 for this and 4 for this. Sometimes only 1 man out, if that many. Really atrocious.
That's how we talk about that so many times with these umpires, where it was really, they were some characters.
Give you another joke. Dads.
Yeah.
It was Dads. Dads is the policeman, right?
Yeah.
Not Dads. There was a big fat guy from Grace Farm.
Lato.
That's what his name? Maybe.
Lafanda.
I don't remember, but he was an umpire. And he was supposed to be one of the official creme de la creme umpires. And we played against a team from Grace Farm, not Empire. It was I think 40 hours we played at that time, or 50 hours. Something more playing. And my brother was bowling. He got a guy caught behind. Umpire gave him out. Second ball. The second edge is bigger than the first edge. Umpire gave him an out again. The third ball, hat-trick him, third ball. The third out is bigger than the first 2 outs. He turned down the third out and turned to my brother and said, boy, me can't put up my 3 times in a row. Yeah, just like that. He said he can't put up my 3 times in a row. Well, the last out is bigger than the first.
Well, you could actually know better honesty than that.
Just trying to show you how inconsistent they are. They don't go by the rules. They just go by how they feel.
Feelings, yes. We've heard a few stories there along the way. Now, Taddy said, he buy you out.
Well, he didn't really buy me out because no money was passed. You sure? He really just recruited me. You sure? Back in the days.
Yeah, wasn't a money pass.
No. Back in the days, Taddy reminded me recently I owe Rising Sun money. Because you had to pay to join the club and pay your dues. No money was passed. Taddy just say, Chuck, come on. As he said, we used to work together. He might have seen how I play around the area. And he might say, Chuck, come and play with us. So I went and played with him. So no money was really passed. As a matter of fact, I wanted to buy him out. Because when Villa went into first class cricket, I asked him to come and keep with us. But he wrote in Rising Sun, he ain't gonna leave.
Right.
You know, I don't think Michael will buy people, man.
He ain't gonna leave.
Now, but let me ask you a question. So what? Okay, Taddy asked you to come and play, but you're playing at Villa. So
but Villa was playing Parish League at the time.
Okay.
So it was like a step up.
Right.
So even though you don't want to leave your boys them per se, they don't mind you go because they realize you're trying to improve yourself.
Right, and give somebody below an opportunity now.
Yes,
to
because
step in.
it's a step up from Parish League.
So how did you find that transition now from leaving from Villa to the
Well, you know, at a younger age, when I was about 17, 16, Taddy might not have known this, I played for St. John's also. I opened back for St. John's way back then. St. John's played a match against Grammar School when Viv and them guys, I don't know, I'm sure Taddy was playing, maybe you don't remember. Or maybe somebody was keeping. So first class per se was nothing new to me.
Okay.
Because I used to play a lot of cricket. You know, what is push and pick up, round, most runs, whatever, rubber ball, whatever.
Hold on. No, I mean not push on, man. Everybody talk about push on, but when you say pick up, what is pick up?
Pick up mean, for example, I'm a Villa man. I play with Villa. Gamblers playing against St. Joseph Academy School. Gamblers realize, and Gamblers is a team now. Gamblers realize, we don't think we can beat St. Joseph Academy. Let's call Chuck. So they'll come and say, Chuck, you want to play? So I say, yeah, come and play. So that's a pickup.
Okay.
I'm helping them out.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're good and a team know they want a man, they may say, let's go get Taddy to help us out. You know, it's like a ringer.
But Taddy did that a lot, boy. Taddy did that a lot.
well, Taddy's a visionary. Taddy see talent and Taddy recruits. But you realize in order to have a good team, you have to build your team. You need good players. I mean, no matter how good a coach you are, you still need good players.
All right, guys, we're going to take a little break here as we refresh ourselves for the back end of the program. And so we want to recognize our platinum sponsor, ACB Caribbean, Simply Smarter Banking. And so for all of your banking and financial needs, it's got to be ACB Caribbean, and they'll take good care of you. 44 years and counting in the Parish League circuit. Seco Pharmacy, for all of your medicinal and pharmaceutical needs, it's got to be Seco Pharmacy, your one-stop vitality store. To keep that body in a healthy and vibrant state, be sure to check them out at the corner of High and Temple Street, Seco Pharmacy. The best tasting water on the island, it's Blue Mountain Water. You can get your Blue Mountain Water from the distributors there, mega distributors there on the American Road, and just go there and they have them in a variety of sizes. And also Pine Hill Juice from Hutchinson Wholesale in a variety of flavors there. You can get your Pine Hill Juice, Hutchinson Wholesale, and they're located on the Sir Sidney Wallen Highway there. Zen Body and Skincare, enhancing your natural beauty, distributor of Black Girl Sunscreen, made by women of color for people of color, a sunscreen for everyday use. Zen Body and Skincare, they're located at Ways Estate, east of Pickett's, north of the Social Security Housing Project, and you can reach them at 779-4846, 779-4846. And Plumbing Electrical Limited, or you'll see that big sign when you drive through Potters going to Herbert's, or vice versa, Herbert's to Potters, you'll see that big sign marked Pell. That is Plumbing Electrical Limited, wide assortment of plumbing and electrical fitting. So whether you're doing retail or wholesale, you could check them out there at Plumbing Electrical Limited for your quantity and quality. And there, so you check Ahmad and his team right there at the Potters Herbert's Community Junction there. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and today we have Mr. Walter George in the house, just taking us back to some days in the Villa community and telling us how they were some strong, strapping men, always playing rough, but when they meet Empire, they quench themselves and back in a corner.
No, they never agree, so. John, one is good buddy might be watching now.
Who's that?
Remember when police guy came, Wilkins Flo?
Yes.
One of his buddies.
Okay.
He may be watching the show.
Let's say good afternoon to Flo. I hope you're doing well, Flo. No, he was having some challenges with his health there. Hope he's back up and running. Now, Walter, as you played for Rising Sun, just speak a little bit about how your career. What is it, Rising Sun or St. John's?
Rising Sun.
I'm trying to buy you out. Speak a little bit how you found your career improved or revolutionized, as we would say, and then a little later on, well, my understanding is you'd have left Antigua and went up to the States. So let's just speak a little bit about what life is like for you after you transferred over to the state. But let's just speak a little bit about your career at Rising Sun.
Well, I didn't play with Rising Sun that long, you know, because after maybe after one full season, Villa came into first class, so I had to go back to Villa.
Hey, what does you do? You just jump like a rabbit all over the place?
Well, my team first class, no.
Teddy knows. I had to go back to Villa because I was one of the integral player in Villa per se. Okay. In Rising Sun, I was just a player, quote unquote.
Because he was not just a player. He was really good.
Rising Sun deck was pretty stacked. If you know, back then, in as much as Viv and Andy wasn't there most of the times, you still had about 8 guys there who were playing for Antigua and Rising Sun team. You had Taddy, you had Ulysses, you had Hugo, you had Jeff Abbott, you had Opal, you had Sinak who played. Philip bowled pretty well.
Robert Philip.
And there was another guy. Who was the other guy, Taddy? That was pretty
Stead Green was there.
Stead Green was there. So about 7 of those guys were playing for Antigua.
A lot of steps you had to climb there.
So it was a pretty formidable team, to be honest with you. So if you make Rising Sun team, you're one step away from making Antigua team, because it's like playing for New South Wales. If you make New South Wales team, chances are you're gonna make Australia team. You know, so it was in terms of Rising Sun, it was something like that. In terms of my migration, after I migrated, I didn't play no more cricket per se. That was my last of cricket. That's 1978.
1978?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was last of my cricket. The last 2 seasons before I left, I played with Villa, of course. And I just stuck with football because, you know, I had a football scholarship. And
if I can ask, how did that football scholarship come about? The football scholarship, how did that?
Like I tried to explain, there was a gentleman by the name of Gough Gums, whose father was head of the Pilgrim Holiness Church. I think he was in charge of the Leeward Islands. So he had connections in the United States, and he sent his son there to college. And his son looked back. And recommended Dave Gilliard, who is Pinnacle. And that's how the genesis started. And Pinnacle looked back, referred me, and so on and so forth. Some people go on in life and they don't look back. They don't care about nobody but just themselves. But because of Gough Gums, what you see now in Antigua to some extent, the collegiate intellectuals in Antigua who are working in different aspects and fields in Antigua, they come through soccer. All of us guys, myself included, could not dream of going to no university because one, maybe maybe we didn't have the 7 subjects at the time. Back in the day, 7 subjects were a lot. You didn't have the familial background, you know, because only certain people were getting a scholarship. So when the soccer thing opened up, you open up a new door for I wouldn't say 100, but many guys. So people realize this is the door that I can get through to get to college education. People talk about the Cuban scholarship that Tim them talk about, but one thing that is not mentioned is the athletic scholarship that started in the Villa. That's where we started, and we had so many players come through from different parts of the islands. What are you talking about? From Empire? You talk about Empire. You have Epolos, who ended up with a scholarship. So many guys. Squashy. 3-5s, Squashy, and the Talal, like I told you, the Passau, and so many other guys who are not even from the Villa team or from the Villa and Point community. So guys begin to see that as a venue where they can get a break, because like I said, a lot of the athletes, even though some of us were, let's say, have some level of education, because I taught in Antigua before I left Antigua, so I'm no dummy. And a lot of other guys, they had their subjects and so on and so forth. But the opportunity, you could not have gotten the opportunity because you just didn't have that familial background, because they were given scholarship to a certain class of people. So that's why you see so many grassroots guys come through the football and got an opportunity, which is a great avenue. And it's still open, the doors are still open. I was talking about the Cuban scholarship. People talk about the Cuban scholarship and what Tim and them did and how that helped a lot of people, but nobody talk about the soccer scholarship in the same breath. And trust me, a lot of us gone overseas, some of us come back, some of us don't come back. Some of us doing, I know guys who played overseas and soccer scholarship who are doing exceptionally well in business. You know, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I have my own real estate business for the past 30 years. I also do mortgage banking. I do financing. So, you know, it helps a lot in the opportunities that would have never, ever occurred.
Created.
And you know what's funny? One day, I was walking with Bato, that's the president of the Football Association. And while me and Bato passing, a little boy passed and said, Bato, me a liar be. You a liar for true? Bato said, yes, I'm a liar. Little kid say, kid no more than 7. He said, Bato, you sure you be a liar? Bato said, yeah, me a liar, man. He said, boy, I'm so happy for you because you know what? When you come up, you want to be a liar just like you, Bato. So you see the emulation from an early age. They begin to recognize people of their same ilk that they can identify with, and they too realize, you know what? If Chuck can do it,
I can do it too.
I can do it too. So the blueprint was there for a lot of underprivileged kids, underprivileged young men, to get another opportunity. Because back in the days, the people that were getting a scholarship, they were from grammar school, academy school, girls from high school, convent school, and they always end. The way ends, and you had a lot of other good secondary schools. PM school to some extent. PM school is a brilliant school in terms of intellectuality. You had Henry School at the time. You had Hill School, Mission School, Miss Goodwin School. All these are all these are secondary schools that produce some good kids. But the creme de la creme of Antigua lifestyle, the finance part of it, the affluent part of it, they were basically going to high school, grammar school, academy, and convent school. So if you want of that circle, you better forget it. So a mold was broken when you had people like myself, the Pinnacle, the Bato, the Sobies, and all these grassroots men that people can identify with. I mean, you don't want to know who my parents are in the sense of, I don't want to say poverty, but in terms of deprivation, and they're not, I'm not the only one. All the guys that I grew up with, basically all of us were hand to mouth. You know what I'm saying? So it was so refreshing. I told you, I was so shocked when the girl said to me, I've been a team of society, man. So you see how the education lifted them, that they went to another level because of the education accomplishment.
So they came society.
They came society in the eyes of that lady, and I was so shocked. I was really shocked. I was like, what are you doing that? Yeah. That's how she felt about it.
But this is very, good to hear you speak, and this is something that should really be pushed out there a lot, because I don't think a lot of people appreciate. You hear this argument a lot in the schools, trying to balance the curriculum with the sporting activity. Teachers are saying we need more time in the classroom. The sporting administrators are saying, hey, we need to have them on the field a little more. And from what you're saying here, what we need is to find that balance of the sport and the academics, because sport also has an avenue whereby if the academics can't get you, or if you're not in the ilk, at least the sporting discipline can get you somewhere. And
I was listening to Mr. Green from Princess Margaret School on Observer. I think he was on with Jojo. I don't know the man, I never met the man, but I said to myself, you know what? If when I was going to school, if we had a headmaster like that, who was so enthusiastic about sports, imagine what we would have done as student athletes. When I went to high school in Antigua, we never had the support of the institution, the school per se. Is the guys in 4th form, 5th form, we get together, we form a team. We didn't have no playground because Henry School was at the bottom of Church Street. You would have Bryson and Intred Warner was down there. So there was no playing ground. We just happened to have a nucleus of guys who had some talent, and we just put it together. I don't think the headmaster was supportive. I don't think most of the teachers in the school were supportive of what we were doing. We did it on our own. For example, on a Friday afternoon, we usually play on Mondays. On Friday afternoon, we will say, okay guys, the match starts 10 o'clock in the morning, we ain't coming to school that day. So we scudding school. So it's not to say the headmaster and the teachers, them giving us permission to leave. They might have had an idea, the teachers might have an idea, well, all these guys are not there because they're playing a game. We didn't have the school support in terms of the other students coming to watch us. One or two of the guys,
we're rebel.
One or two of the guys who are not playing may come and watch, but we didn't have the full support. As a matter of fact, one of our better players, You know, I was the captain back then. I was in fifth form. Like I said, most of the players were from fourth and fifth form. One of our better players, just about the best batsman in the team, he was in first form. So now when you're in a higher class, you understand how to maneuver and how to get out and so on and so forth. So he being so young, he didn't know the deal. So I had to go to the teacher of the class and say, listen, Mr. Challenger, you used to open for Liberty. He used to open for Liberty because the Challengers, them were big in Liberty back in the days.
Okay.
I had to go to him and say, listen, Mr. Challenger, you know we're playing a game tomorrow against PM at PM school, and that's a big match. I say, I need Connie Nicholas.
Okay.
Connie Nicholas is one of the better batsman.
Okay.
I said, I need Connie Nicholas, but Connie don't know how to get away.
Okay.
He said, listen, Walter, just tell Connie about 9:30, put up his hand and say he want to go to the bathroom. and that will be his cue that he can go. So I will say, okay. So I said, Connie, 9:30, just put up your hand, tell Mr. Chandler you're going to the bathroom, and just come, let's go. Connie was just about our best batsman at that time, and he was the youngest player in the team. Now, when we played football match started about 3 o'clock. So, you know, school give a half the lunch break.
Right.
So when lunch break came, we ain't going back.
That's it.
We ain't going back.
School locked down.
We going to play our game. So we didn't have the support of the school per se, because athletics at that school, I can only speak for that school. Maybe I can speak for Hill School and Mission School and so, but Academy and Grammar School, hold on.
Let me just bring in our texters here. We Sharon Watkins is saying good afternoon.
Hey.
And
Yeah.
she said, Taddy, Sharon needs you to give her a call. So give her a call there, Taddy. Abdel Hughes, good to have you in house, Abdel Hughes. Okay, Abdel is saying I agree with him with what he said about the coaches. And who else we have here? Myron James is saying, good afternoon, guys. Mr. George, you're so right about Taddy. He's the best. And Calvin White is saying, good afternoon, guys. Watching from Orlando. Good to have you, Calvin. And who else we have here? Oh, Calvin says he's in St. Croix today. Okay, so Calvin, you have journeyed across. So Calvin is watching us from St. Croix. Yes, Mr. George.
So you find by
football in the
I'm talking about the school sports now. So by lunchtime we wouldn't go back. We just go when we play, and we were on our own. Like I said, I heard Mr. Green speaking, and I was so impressed with his involvement and how he organized the sport and so on and so forth. And I said, you know what? If we had that, how much further we could have gone? Because in as much as you go to school for an education, you need that physical part of it also to enhance you, to make you a more well-rounded person. Like I said to you before, if you in America, and I speak from what I know best, if you have a 4.0 and I come in with a 3.5 and I'm a student athlete, I'm going to get a job before you, because I bring a certain amount of discipline, dedication, commitment that you don't have. Because, I mean, trust me, when you play big sports in America, especially in big collegiate sports, it's tough. It's not easy. It's real commitment.
Talking about the collegiate sports, you would have left Antigua and you would have migrated to the U.S. How was that transition for you as a person coming from a small community like the Villa community?
Well, obviously it was a culture shock, because first and foremost, I went and played in a white school, in a white community. So here I am. I'm not accustomed to white people. Here it is, they're not accustomed to black people per se either. But one of the good things I can tell you, the transition in terms of support is excellent in America. If you listen to Antigua sports, if you listen to Antigua sporting personality, I don't really want to say it, but I'm going to say this. They're extremely critical. There's no positive reinforcement. If you listen to all the speakers, Andy Roberts, Kenneth Benjamin, you name a bunch of them, they're always criticizing. They don't give positive reinforcement. In America, no matter how poorly you play, you get encouragement. Good game. You'll do better next time. So it's important that we in Antigua, we start to give more praises and more encouragement. Oh, you can't play the ball, man. You jokey. You will never hear that in America. Never, ever, ever. You will never hear the negativity from supporters, spectators in terms of players. always give positive strokes. Antigua need to start give more positive strokes, so that the players, because if you encourage them more, they'll play better. You know, I mean, we saw the other day here where one gentleman said the school team should not be playing first class cricket. I guess he has his reasons. Another gentleman reported and said, hey, you shouldn't take that position because the school team should be playing where they're playing, because they lost a lot of players because the other teams, you know, take them out. So we need to be more positive with our athletes. We really need to, and that's what bothers me most when I hear people talk about sports in Antigua and comment. Another thing too, when you leave here and go up there, is you have to acclimate. The weather. I mean, I left Antigua. It's 80-something degrees, 90 degrees every day. I go up there in October, September. I go to Michigan. You know, Michigan is close to Canada, so it's very cold. I'm shivering like crazy. And so the winter plays a hard part to, you know, the adaptation, the culture. Even when you speak, people don't understand what you're saying. Because you speak with a dialect, you speak with a foreign tongue, and they're like, what did you say? And when they speak, you don't understand immediately because your ears are not in tune to the perception of what they're saying.
Yes.
So you depend on somebody who came before you to show you the way, to lead you along. For example, the guy Pinnacle, he came before me, he held my hand, he led me along. You know, you need that because you cannot relate to the other players of the team per se.
Right.
Because those guys, it's totally different culture, and their work ethics and their work habits is far ahead of yours, because that's what they're accustomed to from a very early age, because they've been coached all their life. Like when I went up, I was wondering what's wrong with the coach, and one day my friend said to me, listen, you're not going to win that battle there, no. Just say, okay, Bob, all right, Bob, and do your thing, but you better don't challenge that. So that's why I say, back to Taddy, in order to be a successful coach, you have to be an authoritarian. You can't have anybody come and say, do this, do that. Keep your opinion to yourself. You know, like I said to you, we were so tired. You don't want to say nothing to the coach because you're saving that bread. You know, you tired.
You speak about those challenges. How the players themselves, did they accept you, receive you as one of them?
No, they never. For me, no, they never did. What they accept and receive, they appreciate the fact you're there to help build a team, but they themselves, they no. There's racism there. There's subtle racism. There's blatant racism. There's open racism. Like I said, you have to adapt to them. It's just recently I was thinking, and I say, you know, I might have been hard on them in my mind because the way they treated some of us, but maybe it's because they just didn't understand us either, you know. So, but the racism gonna always be there. You technically you're brought in as a hired gun. That's what you're there for. That's how they see you. They don't even see you as an intellectual. They see you as a football player. That's it. And they expect you to perform above and beyond who's there, per se. And
You're like the pro.
yeah, exactly. You're the one they bring in to do this, so you better rise above them. But what I realize now...
Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, was that additional pressure on you? Did that weigh you down a bit?
Well, there was always pressure. You know, there was always pressure because the academic is a pressure too, you know. Let's not forget that, because you have to maintain a certain grade in order to play in the team, in order to qualify. And the academics up there is different in that you're talking about, let's say take typing for example. I mean, I growing up in the 70s, typing, that sounds like a girly stuff. And you find yourself growing up there, you better learn to type. You see what I'm saying? So there's so many different things, because you have to write term paper, and they don't want it handwritten, they want it typed. So many different things. And by those days, there were no computer per se yet, as affluent as it is now. So it was the old-fashioned, you know what I'm saying? And you have to try and adapt. You may have to find a friend to help you out. You know, yeah, it was like that.
Oh, pretty interesting there. But from what we can take from that is, as you said, you know, you just have to prepare yourself for the conditions and adapt as they come your way. So you spoke earlier, I think you mentioned you are mortgage, right? Mortgage broker, real estate. So you would basically say that you have evolved yourself from your cricketing career here, your football career, that has really propelled you into who you are today, in the.
Well, the drive more or less. So let me advertise my business now. So if you come to the Bronx in New York and you want to get a mortgage or you want to buy a house, sell a house, I'm the guy to contact. I've helped a lot of Antiguans along the way to get mortgages, to get houses, and so on and so forth. Some of the local guys who even play football here, because some of them play with my team. So so one help. It's a helping thing.
Right. You said with your team, so you're still involved with a team up there?
Well, I don't run the team no more, but I still have an affinity to it because I still help them out financially to some extent.
Okay.
I used to coach a team, manage a team. That's the football team. We had a team named Cavaliers.
Cavaliers. We had a team down here named Cavalier too, right?
There must be a copycat name you all picked up. We were very dominant. So we were very dominant. And the Antigua team that we played in the Caribbean Cup, we did pretty well. So that's Yeah.
Mervyn played with you up there too?
Mervyn played with Cavaliers.
Yeah.
But Mervyn is a very good player. No taking nothing from Mervyn. He and his brother, two pretty good football players. I think one of the things Antiguan people don't realize is how good a football player Viv Richards was. People talk about Viv Richards cricket because he's renowned for that. But in my estimation, I think Viv Richards is the best fullback Antigua produced. I really believe so. From what I know and from who I played against. Viv was pretty strong. He had a good vertical jump, powerful header, very strong. I think Viv was the best fullback we produced. But we talk about the cricket because we all know him for the cricket. But Taddy will tell you, Viv is pretty sleek.
You would do that, Teddy?
He was very good, man. He's really good for footballer, man. Seriously, he was, and like Chuck would tell you, Viv is always competitive. He doesn't like to lose. So, he can give it 100 and something % to win. If his team is scoring, he want to move, go up the line and just score a goal, try to influence something.
Right.
But he's very strong in defense.
Yeah. Another thing I want to see, I hope change in Antigua football, is the commitment Antigua football fan base show to English football. I think when you listen to them, they talk about Arsenal and Chelsea and Liverpool and Manchester United. And I'm like, what are they talking about? It's just like they're just so entwined with these teams and the players. And I'm saying, some of these guys can't even play football. Let me tell you, you have guys like Andy Christian, Lewis, the two Lewis brothers. I'm not taking nothing from Ashby. Vivian, his brother, and many others could have easily played in the English league. Guys, right now in Antigua can play in the English league. All they need is just better conditioning, better coaching, better nutrition. And they're as good as us, even better. But they don't really know how good they are. Remember I said that from the beginning, you don't really know how good you are until somebody pushes you
to that level.
But I don't see why they revere them like that. And I'm like, what
Sure. I think that's bad. In the man and the woman, here's a young girl say, what they do with this guy? I'm like, they're very passionate about it.
I'm like, what are they talking about?
That's it.
I don't see it. I really don't see it. Bato could have played for anyone in a professional team. Tulsa Roughneck up in Oklahoma was going to pick up Bato and give him a professional scholarship. But he had to turn it down because he was still in school.
Walter, you spoke about being the hired gun when you went to the college. Now we have a lot of talk here in our local football because there's a big talk about what do you refer to them as, importees that they bring into play in the different clubs, and this quota talk, because at one time they said one team had about.
I got it.
Yeah. What is your view on such a position?
Listen to me. For the football to improve, you have to have good players. Football is a product you sell. People come to buy good product. I have no problem with foreign players, but you really have to limit no more than 3 or 4 on the field at any given time. I have no problem with them bringing in players, but like Palm brought in a whole team from St. Vincent down in Jamaica. That's ridiculous. You can have 8, 9 guys from overseas playing on a soccer team. That don't make no sense. You have to leave room for the local players, because where you going to pick your national team from? If you bring in 3, 4 guys, they have to be better than who you have, not as good as. You need to bring in talisman players who can really do some tricks with the ball, so people come and say, oh, let me go see Taddy play because he's real fancy, or let me go see John play because he's real good. Not no ordinary guy that will go and say, who is he? You know, you need to see some flash and some flair. You need to see some real nice finesse.
Something different.
Yes, you can't come with a mediocre guy and you say, oh, you know, he has to stand up. If you're going to bring him in, he has to be exceptional.
Exceptional, yeah. I agree with you, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges
We
they
have to limit them to no more than 3 or 4 on the field at the same time.
At the same time, Chuck, those guys that bring the guys and the teams, we can learn from them.
Exactly. So that's why you need to bring in exceptionally good players. When we played up in America, our team wasn't strong enough, and I brought in guys from Antigua. I brought in Quinton Clark. We had Ninja Man. We had Pretty Boy. We had a lot of players. We had Demon. We had House. House was more or less average, more or less. We had Sobi. We had Gary. We had Daryl from Parham. We had Reptile from Parham. We brought in the best of the best from Antigua to strengthen our team. And our guys up in America, they were upset because they were, where's the room for us? You see what I'm saying? So it's natural, but we had some pretty sharp guys up there too playing for us. So we were able to balance it out.
Right. Yeah, so that's a big talk that goes around.
I'll get another 5 minutes and get him out in here.
Yeah. Well, Walter, we might even be quicker than 5 minutes to just give you a chance to, say your last bit, your kudos, anybody you want to just big up, recognize.
Well, my mind is not as free as I wanted to be because I really had a rough day. But I must say thanks to Taddy for inviting me and for being a friend over the years and recognizing talent when he sees talent. You go to America and people talk about cricket, Taddy name comes up all the time. And I don't even mention his name per se. Because sometimes when I let them talk and then I listen and they talk and they listen. And then somebody will say, oh, Chuck played with Taddy. They say, you play with Taddy? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think Taddy got the accolades that he deserved. I see Antigua knighting all kind of people and giving people this and giving people that. The true heroes get totally ignored in Antigua. People who really, really make a difference.
That is true. No, because and I have to agree with you because look, we just talked earlier in the show. We're doing the show for just about 2 years, and the amount of guys that have come through here that have been under the tutelage and guidance of Taddy Arundel. Taddy Arundel really do deserve to be given that knighted approach. But our guest is going to have to jump out now. As he said, he has some critical issues that he has to sort out. So, Walter, we want to say thank you for coming, and we do hope there will be another opportunity where you could come and continue sharing your experiences.
When is the next program?
Next Thursday. No, Saturday morning. I have a program Saturday morning.
This Saturday morning?
Yeah.
So invite me back. I'll come back.
All right, no problem.
I'll be here. Invite me back. John, nice meeting you.
All right, nice meeting you, my brother. And so, all the time, man, all the time. Real good talking to you there. And thing. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, there we had Walter George from the Villa community. Taddy buy you out a bit, but he go back home after a year. He's a recruit, but it is. But Taddy, a real nice talk there. I really enjoyed that part where he spoke about how sports, opened that avenue for that segment of the community that would not have necessarily been given the light of the day.
And that is what that sports has done over the years, John. People who have the ability to be more recognized more track and field. When the Villa started this thing in soccer, but over the years, before that it was track and field, we got to that athletic scholarship.
Right.
What Villa and the same guy spoke of, Goff, somebody I'm very familiar with. The Luther body, he's living gamblers, he always play with gamblers, traffic gamblers. So I know Goff pretty well. I know the boy that went having, Homer, one with the younger boy, he died. This is played up by the same small field, the Pilgrim's field and Fort Wood. So, and this will live right there too, man. So Goff got there first and he started to send for these guys and he and Homer and that the connection PM. Goff went to PM too, and Pinnacle and all these guys. So they started something like a revolution, getting guys over there, plenty guys, And like Walter said, not only Villa players, players are the different teams in Antigua who they don't recommend, So you're not just limited to Villa team and Villa club.
Yeah, definitely, Teddy. And even in basketball, I know over the years too, basketball also have secured quite a bit of scholarship for their players. And so I think cricket might be the one that might be lacking a bit in that aspect. I don't know what are the opportunities there. I mean, we've had a few guys who've gone off and played, and but in terms of the whole academic, well, I don't know. Do they have that in cricket, Daddy?
No, they don't have that. What happens if you get some guys pretty early, like between 13, 14, you can get some scholarships in England.
Right.
To get into high school and this other thing. But you have to start a link, That's important. But you have to have the guys with the ability, because like he said, when you come there, they take you as a superstar. So you can't come there and not as good or better than them. Hey, bring something to the table.
Well, I guess some will tell us that it's happening now, because we have about 4 or 5 guys in England now playing some cricket.
Well, that's been going on for years. People just go there and play in clubs.
Right.
But I'm talking about scholarship. I'm talking about actually got the one guy who did that was Ravi. Ravi went there on a scholarship and finished high school and went to college and that's all the thing.
Right.
So, what the opportunity is there, But you have to catch the guys between 12, 13, 14 to get them up in high school up there, John, and then they can move on. But the guys at 17, 18, they can leave here and get a cricket scholarship to take you to university.
Right.
That never happens, John.
Right.
That's the difference. But it's a track and field,
Right, you get that kind of
you
opportunity.
leave there and go to university.
Taddy, before we go, I think we'll be remiss not to be, well, I'm sure it might have been done on the other shows. We have to congratulate the police team thus far. They've had an unblemished record in the Parish League for 2022. They won the 2 championship. This is Dave Joseph and Sir Richie. And we're having the Kirtley Ambrose.
Sir Kirtley starting this weekend.
Sir Kirtley Ambrose starting this weekend.
And so Viv
next Thursday. Wow, so we're going to have cricket round the clock. So on Saturday, guys, June the 4th, we have Police versus Newfield at Police. We have Mahaiko versus St. Paul's at Clay Hall. Taddy is sure Clay Hall ready for cricket now?
Well, that's what I was told.
And we have DNR Architecture, Seaview Farm versus Freetown at Seaview Farm. And then Sunday, we're back, Police versus DNR Architecture, Seaview Farm at Police Ground. Mahaiko versus Newfield at Clay Hall. Also, Clay Hall getting a back-to-back, all right? So good to see cricket back at Clay Hall. And then Freetown, they'll come up against St. Paul at Freetown. All right, so that's where we are, and we want to say congratulations to the West Indies team, Taddy. They would have won their first one day versus Netherlands, and congratulations to Shy Hope, Taddy, for making a brilliant century there and giving West Indies a comfortable victory along the way.
Well, first of all, it's good to see he was not shying for the ball yesterday, but when you see some short ball, you're not too equipped for them, I believe. But I always liked him, potentially. So it's good to see the John. I like to as good as we play against. And he batted very well yesterday, given the competition. But I hope they continue like that throughout the West Indies career against all the guys who are going to bounce him. At least who can get out of the way.
West Indies look like they've won the second one also. Yeah, they've won by 5 wickets. I think that played earlier today.
Okay.
Netherlands made 214. Scott Edwards, he had 68, and Singh, let me just say Singh, had 46, and Max O'Dowd, 51, the main contributors to Netherlands.
So Netherlands are all out or what?
214, all out, 214 all out. Kyle Mayers, Alzari had 8 overs, 1 made and 2 wicket. I haven't seen his bowling, but so far it seems to be a little bit more consistent. His run rate is keeping a bit low, which is good. And Akil Hussain again, among the wicket, he has 40 wicket And
40.
4 wickets, sorry. And our boy Hayden Walsh, 10 overs, 40 runs, 1 wicket. So he not too bad there. And Shy Hope, your Centurion, this time he only made 18. Shamar Brook 6. Nkrumah Bonner 15. Nicholas Puran 10. Brandon King, he had 91. Not out. Kyle Mayers, he had 22. And your boy that you always talk about that you'd love to see long time, Casey Carty, I think this is his first knock for the West Indies. He made 43, not out.
Yeah, you know, I love Casey Carty.
Yes,
You know, I
yes.
love, but I was watching the first game, John, and I was shocked. What happened? The captain was batting, but he went in the batting. I don't think he had double figures. And the commentator commented, was in one, the chase was a runner ball. And the captain had striving for a sweep. And I said, okay, why can't the done say captain that? Why want for a sweep, why want to run a ball? They're playing now, well, cricket to win the game easy, John. Give the team a chance to get you out. Put the team under pressure. Yeah, something, John.
Right.
You don't need any kind of shots. This is a 50 over match, John. 20 overs running out, you know. You have 19 overs to score 114 runs. That's John, you play 2020. You know, when it was against 20 overs, and poor one is a 2020, but you should know that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you, man. Play the game now, when cricket and win the game easy. Don't give the opposition a chance to get into your team, and it might make a panic. Okay, if you check the score, say, well, going to John. The score sheet you just now, no. The first 5 guys didn't do anything well, no.
No.
You get that?
Yeah, we had.
There's a guy, King, who did King scored 50 in that one.
Actually, it looks like it's the last 3 batters because that was the first wicket at 17, second at 35, third at 48, so we were down 4 for 60.
Okay.
And actually, we were down 5 for 99, so it's an unbroken stand of 118. It looks like between Carty and King. Yes.
King got 58 not out, so 2 not out, but no.
Right.
58 and 90 something. This is what I'm talking about, Johnny. Play good cricket. I would not accuse Shai Hope and Brooks. I don't think they play this with sweep stuff. Maybe they got out. But what I'm saying to you, John, check it out. It's not like they're batting that well.
Well, yeah, I mean...
And guess what? Netherlands, so far, 2 little bit. Then 50 overs will get the 300 runs easily in the John.
And Taddy, just as we look to close up, just quickly looking at this test match between New Zealand and
What is watching that, John?
England. New Zealand, they were bundled out for 132.
They were 36 on one day, John.
And let's look at the scorecard quickly. We have, so 132 all out, 40 overs, so it's like not even a 50 over game for them. And Colin de Gradam, he had 42, and
he came in late.
Tim Saudi in the back end had 26. So as Taddy said, they were 6 for 36, exactly. 7 for 45.
Okay.
Wow. And the new guys that came back, the talk of the town. James Anderson, he took 4 wickets.
Yeah, 2 wickets in all was now.
Okay. And Stuart Broad, he had 1, and Matthew Pott, I think that's a debutant.
Guy.
He had 4, and the captain.
He had 4.
Yeah, the captain.
I say he got it first wicket. First got Williamson.
Okay,
the young guy.
Williamson. Okay.
Very good catch by the keeper.
Yeah, caught folks. And England, in reply, they had a good start. They were 1 for 15. They had 59 on the board before they lost their first wicket. Zach Crawley making 43, and then that was it. Alex Lees, he made 25. Joe Root struggling 11. Oli Pope, Johnny Bairstow, nothing.
Maybe struggling 11.
Well, that's true. He had a good season the other day.
Maybe struggling 11. I don't understand, John.
Ben Fowkes, he made 6. And so
how many wickets England lost?
Who?
How many wickets England has lost so far?
7, 116 for 7. So
England?
They're still trailing.
You're joking?
Yeah, 116 for 7.
The last day 7, 92 for 2.
No, not 92 for 2.
England last score is 92.
Yes, you're correct. It was 9 because they lost their 3rd wicket at 92. Yes, that's when Joe Root went, and it has been a steady diet of wickets going down. Ben Stokes, he went for 1. Ben Fowkes, the keeper, he's 6 not out. And Stuart Broad, he's on 4 not out, so only...
I thought England win this thing easily.
Jack Leach, James Anderson and Varon Gerilal to come. Tim Saudi has 2, Trent Bolt has 2, Kyle Jameson has 2, and Colin DeGrado, he has 1. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
That game was so close, man.
yes, so this game might finish in 2 days. If they want.
I give them 3. It was 4 days asking New Zealand win the game.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, it was our pleasure being with you, and really nice talking to Walter George there, Taddy. Taddy, I just don't know. I hope somebody from the ministry, the sporting association, I hope they can get their hands on some of these interviews, really, and really, when they have these guys, just have some sessions, play some clips, draw some clips out of them. So these guys can see, as the gentleman said, they didn't have anything. They came up with nothing. They had to just work for it. And, now everything is done for them. They have electric roller. They have this, they have that. And, we still complain.
I still don't want to play.
I still don't want to play.
They want to go play. Amazing, eh?
It's amazing. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's how it goes. Another show in the bag, and as Taddy said, this may be our last one for quite a bit.
Yeah, about 7
as
weeks.
we're going to be launching off our
Thursday League.
Viv Richards Thursday League on Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Taddy, I remember growing up always saying the American Airlines Viv Richards Thursday League.
Yeah.
Oh man, those are the days. So we're going to be there we'll be there on Saturday and Sunday at the fields across Antigua and Barbuda, and of course, we'll be at one of those games every day, bringing you live coverage. Our technicians, the guys behind the scene, really working hard. And again, I just want to big up Arden, Mark, the other guys who would come out and support us. We really do appreciate your effort, guys, and the viewers need to know that. So on behalf of all of us here on the Talking Parish League show, the Parish League Network, it is indeed a pleasure being here with you, and we'll see you some other time, but we'll be back, I promise you. But do catch us live on Saturday and Sundays and on Thursdays at the grounds. So again, please everyone, stay safe,